One of the things that I was struck by when I first came to America was how little the average American knew about the world that I had come from. My roommate saying to me, "What kind of music do you listen to in Africa? Tribal?" Africa was a place so strange, so different. It's always Africa as a place of want. And I didn't understand that. So I said, yes, we listen to tribal music like Mariah Carey. I don't think stereotypes are problematic because they're false. I think that's too simple. I think stereotypes are problematic because they're incomplete. It's important constantly to question them. I grew up in a university town in southeastern Nigeria, a town called Nsukka. And my father was a professor, mother worked in the university, so I was surrounded by books. But the children's books that I read, and I think this is true for many, many other young children in countries that were formerly colonized, is that the books didn't reflect my reality. So I read a lot of British books. I also read some American books. And so I then had sort of this parallel imaginary life. In my real life, I ate mangoes. In my imaginary life, I ate apples. In my real life, we had 2 seasons, the dry season, the rainy season, and we always had sun. But in my imaginary life, from the books I read, there was such a thing as winter and snow. My perception of literature changed when I started reading African literature. Feeling a greater sense of connection with those books, feeling that there's something different about this because it felt close and it felt familiar. I stopped writing about snow. For complex reasons that have to do with power and resources, there just are not as many children's books that are about African realities as there are about American Western realities. And many African realities are still being told by other people. These Africans are somehow behind in the sort of evolutionary scale. I want African realities to be explored by Africans. Nigeria is Africa's most populous country. It's full of people who are incredibly intelligent, incredibly resourceful. But you wouldn't know that if you listened to the news in the US or if you watched a film or something. You just wouldn't know that. Fiction, for me, can be a tool to ask the questions I want to ask of the world and to question my own assumptions.